Big moment there, getting past Max Holloway to get the interim belt. But what would it mean to you, not just to have the undisputed title, but to defeat a man in Khabib that nobody has been able to figure out?
It means everything to me. You know, how many times in our lives or in our careers do we have a chance to really do something great? You know, these guys are building an arena for us to compete in. I'm traveling across the world in the biggest fight that I can get possible, and going out there to do something that's never been done. I have an opportunity for greatness, and I'm approaching it that way, and I'm very excited about all of this. And I can't wait, honestly. I'm very anxious to get the fight week rolling.
It's taken you over like 30 fights to finally get to this point in your career. When you reflect on like what it's taken for you to get to this point, what would you say was the biggest step in making this happen? Was it changing camps? Was it changing weight classes? What was the moment for you, the catalyst?
I think the biggest thing is consistency and self-belief, honestly. Showing up every day, whether the day before was good or bad. Staying true to the path of being the best fighter that I can push myself and evolve into. I think self-belief and consistency is what's got me here.
Last thing for me, how much does Khabib's one-year layoff kind of serve to your advantage, the fact that he's been gone for a while and that you've been, rolling?
You know, I think that's more of an individual thing. Everybody is different. Recently we've seen Nate Diaz come back and beat Anthony Pettis. Anthony's been pretty active. Nate hasn't fought in 3 years. And, ring rust is a thing people toss around, a word people toss around, but I think it's more individualized. It depends how hard you're working in the gym and how focused you are and how ready to compete you are. And I believe Khabib's one of the guys who works year-round and is always working on his craft, and I think he's going to be the best he's ever been come September 7th.
Dustin, first question would be, you've shown a lot of confidence going into this fight. You've said openly you believe you will finish Khabib Nurmagomedov, and I feel like the mental side of this fight is so big. How big is that for you in terms of being mentally prepared when you've seen, I think we have to imagine, some guys have gone into a fight with Khabib kind of mentally broken already?
Yeah, fighting is people don't talk a whole lot about the mental side of fighting, but I think mentally fighting is the mental part of fighting is a huge part that matters and that some fighters focus on, but a lot of people we don't talk about it. And just my whole career, the ups, the downs, the victories, the defeats, the lessons I've learned and kept rolling, that's what's made me the fighter I am today. It's a constant evolution. I've had to go through the fights that I've been through to be the person I am now, and I'm just confident in my skills, my ability, the work that I'm putting in, my commitment to martial arts, my commitment to just getting in there and letting it all go. And I'm confident in that. I can trust myself that when I get in there and they lock that door for 25 minutes, that I'm the better fighter and I'm in there to win, and that I'm going to find an opening or make an opening and be the victor here.
And, you're going into this fight as the underdog, and you've kind of embraced that role. Some fighters almost take it as an insult when they're seen as an underdog going into a fight, but you kind of embrace it. Do you feel like that's just a huge part of what makes you the fighter you are? Do you have kind of embraced that underdog role going into so many of your fights?
For sure. I've been counted out a lot of times, and at this point in my career, this is just another fight. People are counting me out once again. And for a good reason, right? The guy's undefeated. We're traveling across the world into a place where we would say he's more favored there. But I'm embracing this. I'm going to go out there and do what hasn't been done and put a loss on Khabib's record for all the underdogs across the world. I'm going to show everyone that if you believe, if you work hard enough, if you're focused enough, if you're determined enough, in that 25 minutes, you can be great. And that's what I was just talking about. I have a real opportunity to be great with everyone watching and do something that's never been done, and I will not let this slip through my fingers.
A big part of Khabib's game, as we know, beyond the takedowns, and we've seen it in so many of his fights, he likes to talk to his opponents during the fight. It's almost like he's kind of mentally badgering them in a way during the fights. Has that been something you guys have prepared for down in American Top Team? Like, have you had guys actually, like, trash talking you during training sessions or anything? Because that is such a weird aspect of fighting a guy like Khabib.
No, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I'm going to be talking shit too.
The question from Russia. Hi, Dustin. What about your grappling? Are you ready to fight downstairs with Khabib? And what do you think about his grappling, about his level fighting? Thank you.
I think his top game is very strong, obviously. 27 have tried and 27 have failed. He's been able to dominate them on top with his wrestling pressure, his weight distribution, his understanding of techniques. But I feel confident in my grappling as well. And my goal is to make this a fight and not a grappling match. So, that's where I'm at with that. I've been doing jiu-jitsu and wrestling a long time, and I feel like I can compete with anyone in the world.
Thank you, Dustin. Good luck.
You mentioned that he's favored in that part of the world. Do you mean that when you come in, you expect to be booed?
I think I'm going to have fans there as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was booed,
I guess what I'm asking is, do you think it's a factor in the fight?
No, not at all. I've been booed and championed against and counted out my whole life, so I'm the champ.
Evening, guys. Dustin, you spoke about tightening up parts of your game, and obviously the instinct for a lot of people is that you're going to be working on your takedown defense. How difficult or how easy has it been to manage that alongside all of the other elements of your training?
Honestly, man, well, I have a great team in place, so getting the right training partners and getting on the right schedule and getting pushed has been no problem at all. But honestly, this camp has been the most grinding training camp that I can remember having, and this is my 41st mixed martial arts fight. It's just the style of camp this was, every day wrestling, every day, and guys trying to submit you, hold you down every day. It's almost like I felt like every day was a strength and conditioning session with these techniques and with these guys trying to hold me down, and it was a constant scramble. But I believe that's why I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in my life heading into this fight.
And finally, have you allowed yourself to picture that precise moment of unifying the belts, becoming the undisputed champion, or have you had your team in place to kind of bring you back down to earth and make you kind of look at the task in front of you first?
No, my team, when I lay down in bed at night, I envision myself getting the belt wrapped around me once again and being the undisputed world champion, flying back to America with my wife, and it makes me feel good. But my team knows the kind of work ethic I have and how dedicated I am to my craft. Nobody has to bring me back down. This is what I do,